Hi guys, how you doing? Thursday night, welcome to the live. This is a live on mindset and manifestation. If you're familiar with my account, I'm a mindset and manifestation coach. Welcome. I hold my lives Mondays 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Thursdays 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm very consistent with my lives. I'm going to need to take a couple of breaks over the holiday season, but I'll let you know. And I will post on my story if I need to cancel anything, but that is the regular schedule. So welcome to the Thursday Night Live. I know everyone's busy, holiday shopping. We'll give everybody like about a minute to join, and then I'll get into the material. All my lives are also posted on my YouTube channel afterwards, which is under the same handle, or by searching for me, Mona Khad, and you can watch them thereafter. But of course, if you're on this live, you can ask questions and you can interact and participate. So thank you for joining. We're doing, we have a group of people that are doing a challenge. It's called a 60-day challenge. It's available in my bio. And we're also part of a Facebook group where we share our success stories and we share our questions in regards to where we can improve. And what I can tell you is that after working with this group for about, I think the group started in June, the amount of improvement in people's mindset has been motivating for me, encouraging for me to keep going. And of course, the feedback from my group is, it's everyone's achieving success stories, okay? The success stories, I always tell people when they embark on this path, the success stories are directly proportional to how fast and how much you're able to free yourself from limiting beliefs. I think sometimes we forget what the manifestation game is, and we think it's this thing that we have to do, right? We have to manifest. I'm manifesting a car, and I'm manifesting a boyfriend, and I'm manifesting, but in fact, you're not manifesting anything. It's very important to keep this in mind. You're not the one who's manifesting, and that everything you're doing is you're shedding and you're creating space and you're probing your subconscious constantly through dreams, through this work that we do, and asking it, where am I stuck? Where am I stuck? What errors in my thinking are holding me in the same place all of the time? What is it in my mind that I have to let go of? And of course, this is daily work, but the daily work shouldn't be for more than 15 minutes in terms of the work. If you want to meditate in addition to that or script, that's up to you. But really, the work is about understanding why your life is the way it is. Why are things, you should always ask yourself, why is my life at the point where I am right now? And if you come up with answers that sort of say, oh, it's the government, it's my father, it's, my boss, it's, then for a fact that if you are putting the blame on the exterior things, then you can't change anything. Then how can you expect to affect reality if it's their fault? If it's their fault, you can't do anything about it, because we can't do anything about our childhood, right? So many times we can't even do anything about our boss because we're stuck in a situation and what have you. So please understand, manifestation, number one, manifestation is a game of shedding the old subconscious and sometimes not so subconscious beliefs, because sometimes it's obvious what we think about the world. It's obvious. Ask your friends, just say, be honest with me, tell me what repetitive pattern I have in my thinking. What is it that repeats around? How is it that I can improve? And friends would be reluctant sometimes to give you advice on how to do things better, but just go to somebody who's who would give you the real answer, and not just say, oh honey, it's not you, it's all these guys these days, it's a hookup culture, that's why you don't meet anyone. It's not that. You need to go to somebody, and so in shedding these beliefs and in understanding that you're just creating space for the universe to unfold the manifestation, you're also letting go of the how, right? Because you're not the one doing it. And there's beauty in the fact that you're not the one doing it, you don't know how to do it, and you're not even think about how to do it, because there's no point. I mean, you could do things through 3D, but if you want to manifest and work on your mindset and you want to do it from 5D, then you might as well get out of the way, right? Also, manifesting takes time, she says. So many things it's overnight, but it could take years before you get it. Yeah, exactly. And some things should take a while, right? Like if you're single right now, you want to be married, you better not be married next month, because that wouldn't be a good idea. That's not, that wouldn't be very smart. The universe needs time to unfold the best option for you. But see, the point is, you have to know exactly what makes you happy. A lot of people say, shouldn't I just leave it to the universe? The universe would know what makes me happy. No, you shouldn't. The universe, again, once again, it's neutral. It's not God. And if you decide to purposely imprint your desires into the universe, you have to be prepared to give very clear instructions, because it's mechanical. And you know that the proof on this is many times people manifest hilarious things, like they would say, oh, I want a blue car, and somebody gives them like a little blue toy car, and they're like, that's not what I meant. And you know, it's just really interesting to observe. If you're a manifestor, or if you're a literal manifestor like me, it's interesting to observe how many times you're like, you think the universe is playing with you, toying with you. It's not doing that. Your instructions are just not clear. That's what's happening. So let's talk about the way I structure this lives. Is I sort of do this little intro, and then I take questions from my audience that people send me via my email. My email is in my bio. It's mona.khad@yahoo.com. If I find your question is pertinent to the group and it would benefit everyone, I'll take it up. If it's too specific to your life, I won't take it up. But I do have some coaching sessions available if you want to ask me in person. So we have a Facebook group. In the Facebook group, it's for people who are doing the challenge, but you know, people connect there, and it's not an emotional dumping space. So I actually personally approve every post that I think should be in the group, and I don't allow for emotional dumping. I'm sorry if your post wasn't approved. I had to decline a few this week because it's all like a positive, energetically supportive, and energetically propelling space, and I keep it that way. Now, one practice that I recommend doing, that I've done with somebody random on the internet, is find somebody in the group that could agree to your manifestation, where you can connect at a certain time. You don't have to talk on the phone, you don't have to even see each other, but you're saying at 8 p.m. I will do this meditation for you for 5 minutes, and you will do this meditation for me for 5 minutes. And in this space, because my group is all about giving to others, what you will do is you'll pick a person without knowing them. Okay, this person cannot be implicated in your life, because then they already have resistance. So you pick a person and you say, I want to manifest, let's say, a husband next year, and they say, I want to manifest business success this year. Say your name is Jennifer and their name is Sarah. So Jennifer would just repeat, Sarah is so successful in her business in 2024. Her business success is unparalleled. Sarah keeps achieving. Sarah. So it's all affirmations about the other person, about Sarah, for about 5 minutes. And then Sarah is doing about Jennifer. Jennifer was looking beautiful in her wedding day, on her wedding dress. And, you know, Jennifer has found an amazing husband. And Jennifer, you know, so you are doing this practice for one another. But it works with two people who don't know each other and don't have an investment in each other's life. Now, I've done this practice myself years ago when I was first opening my 3D business. This was about 6.5 years ago. I found somebody on a Facebook group, and it wasn't my group. It was like just a positive mindset group. And I said, do you want to do this practice with me? And she said, yeah. And then I connected with her about a year later. I said, how did it go? And then she got exactly what she wanted. And so did I. I wanted my business to be successful at the time, have a great first year. And I did. And she got whatever she wanted. So I was like, this is great, you know? And please, if you're part of this group, you can definitely reach out to somebody. I'm sure everybody, it's a small group. It's about 200 people. So I bet anyone in that group would be very willing to do this practice with you. Just do it at the same time, okay? So have a time that you agree on when you're going to do it. Let's see. Daria, what happened to you? Oh yeah, I read your dream. Something about moving to a different planet and being pregnant. Did you post this dream? And I'm just trying to remember, because there have been a few dreams in our dream pin. So yeah, ask in the group, you know, like connect with the person, send them a message, you know, from the Facebook group, and see who wants to connect. Okay, I also want to talk about the 3-digit code. Okay, our group code is 468. I see it a lot. Today I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. So for people who have asked me, I'm not sure about my code, what have you, should I change it? It hasn't manifested yet. I can't use it. Okay. If you can't use your 3-digit code, use the group code until you fall into like seeing it 2 times. I just want to show you guys a photo because I've seen it like so many times, and then today was too much because I went to print some photos and like look at my total. The total for my photos 468. I was like, oh my God, you're everywhere. Everywhere I go, you're there. So, when I see my code, I'm always like, I'm in the flow, I'm feeling good. And, to me, I don't just use it for yes or no questions. It's like a nod from the universe that I'm on the right track. That's how I take it. It's been going good. The answers that I've gotten with the 3-digit code have proven to be, the right path of action when I ask the universe those questions. So I just wanted to share that with you, but you got to do it right. Sometimes, I'm thinking, should I be sharing these techniques that are more advanced that could make people anxious? And, the 3-digit code definitely has made a few people confused, but for those who used it, it's been really great. All right. I did a video today. Everybody should watch. It was about how you need to think about the future and how you need to understand your future and your path in life and your destiny. And what I said in that video is the future changes with every choice you make. And you don't have to be into spiritual work to understand this. Like, you can just realize that just by observing, just by analytical thinking, right? Every choice you make in life puts you on a different path. And think of any choice that you have made where you had 2 or more options, like the different universities you could have gone to, the different guys you could have dated or stayed with, or the different job offers, every single one of those decisions could have put you on a different path. For example, in my corporate career, I once had an offer from the same company to relocate outside the country for 2 years. And I was single at the time and young, and I could have done it. But the thing is, I was just too scared to do it. And sometimes when I think about it, I don't think about it with regret necessarily. I just think about it as, if I had done that, who knows if I would even live in Canada right now. Obviously, I wouldn't have the same spouse. I wouldn't be in the same situation. I wouldn't be. So when you see how, that one decision that somebody comes up to you and says, there's this opportunity, do you want to take it or not? When you make that choice, you got to ask yourself, from which point am I making this decision? Because every decision is made from your paradigm, right? And if you don't work to conquer your paradigm and to understand that, then every decision you make will reinforce more of this life that you have. So if you love the life that you have, then that's great. If you don't really like it, if you'd like some things to change in a major way, then you can't make decisions about the future based on your paradigm, right? So it's important to pause and say, okay, let me look at some decisions that I've made over the years. Let me look at some of the opportunities that were presented to me, spouse-wise, job-wise, apartment-wise, vacation-wise. And why is it that I chose the ones that I chose? Did I choose it just because they were risk-free? Did I choose them just because, just to take the risk maybe? Did I choose it? And how has that reinforced? Which part of my paradigm has that reinforced? And, the work in mindset, it's always in understanding yourself, understanding why you do the things you do. That's what awareness is. Awareness is an understanding of where you are right now, what are you doing, and why are you doing it, right? So you're listening to this live right now. Where are you? I'm in my body, I'm here, I'm, let's say, in my living room, and I'm listening to this live. Why are you listening to this live? Why is it that you do the things you do? Or why is it that, towards the end of the day, instead of doing what you should be doing, you're doing something else? Why is it that you can't focus on your work? Why is it that all your relationships end up the same, right? So these are sort of the questions, especially for loops that you have in your life, that you have to ask yourself. And you have to really think about why is it that you're making the same decisions over and over. Okay, so let me take some questions that came to, this one was on one of my videos as a comment. So I'm gonna take it up. Let's see. So this person said, things are going good. Good job, lots of money. Then things went bad, lost job, couldn't find another job, and my bank account went to zero. So I held my vibration all the way till my bank account went to zero and still managed to do this. So it just got worse, and I always thought all the time that I kept a high vibration. Then I saw something Teal Swan said. She's a creator, if you guys don't know who she is. If my higher self wants me to be broke for some reason, to have some experience, then none of these manifestation practices work, because the higher self is ultimate. What do you think about this? So what he's saying is basically, he heard this creator that said, if his higher self wants him to be broke, no matter what he does, like what vibration he has, none of these manifestation practices will work, because the higher self is ultimate. And what do I think about this? And look, what I think about this is, based on knowledge. It's based on knowledge, on observing my life, on observing other people's lives, and on really understanding how it works, on reading hundreds of books, on really, the way I understand this thing to work is not what Teal Swan said, okay? So yes, our lives do unfold based on a script and on a higher agreement that our higher self makes, perhaps outside of this lifetime. But what is very clear is that what happens has, like, our free will is our ability to intend something and switch out of this higher agreement. Okay, now does this mean that this higher agreement will just simply go away and will never be expressed? No, but you can delay it outside of your lifetime. So this is a much more complex discussion that involves karma and multiple lifetimes and multiple, it requires, like, I keep my account on techniques and practices that benefit the mindset to manifest the life you want. But once in a while, I don't mind talking about the deeper things, and this is one of them. So it's very clear that, to me, the universe is not the same as the creator. So the creator has given in his infinite mercy this ability of free will, of choosing which path you want to take, irrespective of your destiny. So irrespective of the higher agreement that you have made, because we can sort of wake up in this life and realize that it's going on a script. And when we realize that, we're like, wait a second, do I want to be in it or not? And the practices are all about what I'm talking about in the video, right? In like, why do you make the decisions you make? Are you going along the script, or are you, choosing, actually free will choosing? Or when you make a decision, it's all based on the script anyways, right? So I want you to know that if you were making money and all of a sudden you stop making money and life is not going your way, but you still feel like you're holding a high vibration, first of all, you cannot hold the same vibration when you're seeing that it's going in the wrong direction. So to you, that might be a high vibration, but to the universe is clearly a vibration that's keeping you on this maybe destiny path, on this script that what Teal Swan's describing is you're meant to experience this pain or this whatever experience, right? So if you're keeping that vibration, that's where you're headed. If you want something different, you have to have a huge act of will and intention in order to move yourself from the path where you clearly see that you're going to another path. And you have to exercise this intent and will. But what you cannot do is you cannot say, well, I had a high vibration and I made money, and now I feel like I still have a high vibration and I started to lose money. Okay, so you have to change something. You have to change something, because obviously in the whatever vibration you have right now, is taking you to the path of experiencing poverty for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. Your higher self, God, it doesn't really matter. The point is you can move yourself off of this path if you really want to. Okay, is this clear to everybody? Irrespective of what your higher self, of course, you don't have to. You can be like, this is my destiny and I'm here to experience good or bad, right? In fact, if you're more religious, or religious people do this, whatever God has in store for me is okay. I know I'm going to get through it. And I know it's okay. You know, I'm going to face everything. And sort of this other path with manifestation and creating reality is a diverging from that. It's basically saying, no, I'm not going to accept this destiny that, is put in front of me. I am going to enforce my will of intention and acting, and I am going to ask. I'm not going to accept, and I'm going to ask for something else. And you will get it 100%. Okay, the free will be respected 100%, but it's not easy. And it's not easy. Okay, but just remember, if you're not on a path that you like, you got to change something. You can't just say, well, I'm high vibration. Change your vibration. It's not, you're defining it as high. The universe clearly doesn't think it's high in the way we describe the high, right? Let me see if I missed any questions. I asked the universe to show me 3, 2, 1, and it did. Okay. I'm not sure if you mean that in regards to our 3-digit code and how you use it. 3, 2, 1 is not a good code to have. It's too, it's not random enough. I thought our higher self wants the best for us. That's because you're thinking of the best in terms of pleasurable experiences. The best means evolution of consciousness. And consciousness evolves through love and pain. It evolves faster through pain. If everything, let's see what else. What do you think about synchronicity? Well, it's what manifestation is all about. You bring forth all the synchronicities in your life. By the way, we tend to notice the good synchronicities. Bad synchronicities are just as important to recognize because you need to associate thought patterns to them, right? So when you think about how bad the economy is and everything, and then, you get fired, you got to associate that a little bit. That's still a synchronicity. Somebody got into a car accident. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. I like this one. Is it possible for a man to become less feminine? Or is it me that makes him show up like this with my belief? It's a complicated answer. I'm going to save all my dating questions for the end. But here's what I would say. I would think it's much easier to just find somebody to, in the first couple of months of the relationship, whoever this person is will come to the surface. Nobody can pretend there's somebody they're not for more than 3 months. I don't think so. Not if you interact with them on a daily basis. And so in those first 3 months, the easiest thing to do is just to discard what's not suitable for you, right? Because you don't have such an investment and neither does he. And if it's not a match, it's not a match. What women do, men don't really do this, okay? But what women do is they keep him on payroll, okay? Hoping that they will change him. And then from the relationship, it's much harder to attract what you want. But you see, if you don't like a feminine man, how did you get past that 2-month, 3-month mark? That would be my question. All right, let's see what else we got here. So I had to scroll up. How long is random enough code? Can you explain how to communicate? I have a video on it. It has to be random. It can be your birthday. It can be 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 6, 7, 8. It can be anything like that. It has to be completely random. Like 172, for example. As long as your birthday is not February 17th. So, but I have a video on exactly how to use the 3-digit code. Okay, I'm going to take up another question that came via email. And this person says, I came across one of your videos talking about manifesting human-made concepts and how it takes longer because it's not nature made like money. I'm trying to manifest a plane ticket and a meeting with someone to help my friend. If I'm able to meet this person, it will help my friend and I in some way. You said don't force anything, but I'm not sure what actions I'm supposed to take. The only inspired action I've received is telling me to get in contact with this person so that he can help my friend and I. Thank you. Okay, so a mistake here is thinking, there's two that I see right away. So one is thinking that help can only come via meeting a certain person. So now you have to manifest a plane ticket to see them and a meeting with them, etc. The second thing is manifesting the how of you're even going to be in touch with this person, right? So I would suggest, if you have inspired action to reach out to someone, the inspired action has to be about doing something right away and seeing what comes out of it. It's not like, oh, I gotta meet with him, I gotta get a plane ticket, I gotta set up this, and I gotta, like, you have a whole game plan set up in your mind. That's not inspired action and manifestation. Manifestation is, my friend and I need help. This is the type of help we need. This is what we're trying to achieve. What is the best way for me? Who should I be in touch with? And how should I proceed? Okay, don't think I need a plane ticket. Don't think I need anything. Just how should I proceed? Just ask that question and see what transpired. Today I had a call with somebody, like a Zoom call, and she's telling me the story about how she went from, low income to a really high income. And she's telling me, I said, how did you manifest like previous things, just to see her background? And she's saying, well, the way that worked is, I make the decision, and she told me the whole thing around it. And then she said, and then I didn't know what to do. And so a few weeks later, a friend of mine called me and she said, why don't you take this course with me about some knowledge about doing something, right? Business-wise. And she said, I have nothing to do anyways, so I'm going to take this course with her, not associating it with her intention to make that amount of money. She took this course, and to make a long story short and to keep the privacy, that course land her in a position where she started something, and within 14 months, she had the exact sum of money that she intended to earn originally. And the discrepancy was really large between what she was making at the time with this sum. So she said, back then, it was so impossible to even think of something. And I said, this is key. You see, with all this manifestation on all your future one, the beauty of it is because in forgetting, if a goal is so unattainable to you, like meeting this person or whatever help it is you need, the outcome, because the outcome is not meeting this person. Meeting this person is part of the how. If the outcome of what you and your friend are trying to do is so outside your ability to figure out the how, this is a beautiful thing. Because right now, all you got to do is relax. You'd be like, this is not even, it's just too big. Forget it. You're not thinking about the how because you don't know where to start. Get it? And this is how you make space for the universe to do it for you. And so you're sitting back and you're like, forget it. I'm not even going to think about step number one. And step number one appears. But when step number one appears, it's always incoming. Right? You're not doing anything. It's always incoming. It's either you get the wrong email, or you get an email about a subject you didn't think about, or somebody contacts you, or you get something in the mail. And when you look at it, something holds your attention, right? But what we do mostly with the first inspired action we have, we sort of discard it. We discard it, right? We're like, no, I'm not going to do that. It sounds interesting, but I'm not going to do that, because the old paradigm doesn't want to do that. The old paradigm is like, nah. This is going to take time investment. Imagine if she said no to her friend taking some random course about doing something, right? So when you say nah to this inspired action, okay, what happens is the universe is like, I guess she doesn't want that anymore. And it's not that, the universe is upset. If you then rephrase the ask, because you can do this 1,000 times, the universe will try to find another way to bring it to you. But what happens is we ask once, we get the inspired action on how to do it. We ignore that action. Okay, we don't even know maybe we do it because we operate from this paradigm. We ignore that inspire. We delete that email. We're like, forget this. We never meet that person that we're supposed to meet when, we're going to that course. We never we never get to step number 2. And so then we sit back, we're like, the universe didn't give it to me. Yeah, this thing doesn't work. I wasn't given. Do you see how defective that is? This is a very important lesson here. I hope you take this, okay? If you got to pay attention to anything, once you have set an intention to manifest something, if you got to pay attention to anything, you have to pay attention to the first thing that unfolds that's different than your daily routine. It's different than your day-to-day. You got to pay attention to that. That's probably your prompt to take inspired action. It's been such a crazy 3 weeks, but keeping up with my challenge, need to get caught up with Facebook. Yeah, keep up with your challenge every single day, guys, if you're doing the challenge. Everything changes for everybody when you stay focused on this work. This is group work inspired downloaded during 3-hour meditation I had at a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat, if you guys don't know who I am. And it's really channeled energy. Why is it when I work for money, I barely get some, but when I don't, they come easily in weird ways? Many times we associate working with something our spirit doesn't want to do. Because what's happening is when we grow up, nobody really cares about what we want to do, right? The school system teaches the same way for everybody, right? Everybody got to take math, got to take chemistry, everybody got to take the same subjects. It doesn't matter if they like it or not, if they're going to practice them or not later in life. And so what happens when you do that, you understand that you have to do certain things you don't want to do in order to get money, right? In order to get a job, in order to get a good job, you have to learn accounting, you have to learn law to be a lawyer, you have to, cut people open, be a doctor, be a surgeon, even though you hate the sight of blood, you got to do it because that's the professions that make money. And so once you make that association, your spirit will fight against the work that you want to do for money. And so your work will not produce much money. That's what happens. Oh, Cass, I'm happy you're enjoying the challenge. Yeah, the results come from inside first. This is the difference with other systems and programs, that maybe you can connect to consciousness and make random things happen. But in my opinion, this challenge changes who you are. So let's move on. Somebody asked me a lottery question, okay? And she said, why is it that, I win a little bit and then I play it all again to win a lot more, and I don't win more, right? Like what happens is I lose it all and then the cycle starts all over again and I do it all over again. And so with the lottery, here's the thing. I'll read you what I said to her, because I said I'm going to share this with the group just in case other people have the same dilemma. I said, this is how I would set up the lottery. Play the same amount every week. Put it on automatic draws if possible. That's what I have. The lottery, the more you desire the outcome, the more resistance you offer. So to me, the lottery is another avenue via which the universe can give you a return. But that's it. It's just one of the ways. Also, when you feel the impulse, sometimes you can buy an extra ticket or scratch for fun. It has to be something that you enjoy doing. That's fun for you. You love scratching it, love every little prize that comes out of it, and you don't really care if you lose the money. So don't play more money. Like, don't play the money that you need to pay your rent, right? Like, play $10, $20 for the fun of it. Okay, you got to see it as, you buy a ticket to an event, or you go out for dinner with your friends once a month, or, and have this budget, right? Have it on automatic payments, just knowing that one day, your local lottery will contact you and will say you're the winner, right? But between now and then, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Put that budget and just do it for fun. That's my best advice with the lottery, because if you're putting $5 and then you're demanding $50,000, you put in $10, and so that creates a massive resistance, because what you're doing is not actually something you want to do. It's again one of those things you do for a return, and you know you're taking a pain in a sense for it, right? When you're losing the money, it's like going to a job you hate, right? You have to do it for the money, and this one is also painful. It's like, I lost $50, I lost $60 on scratch tickets, and I didn't win anything, and this is resistance. So the next time you play, something in you, your intuition will be like, well, I don't like losing that money. I don't like taking a $50 bill and putting it in the trash. So I don't want to do that. So it's resistance, like massive resistance. And this is why, like people get caught up in this loop of losing money in the lottery, if that makes sense. Is there a difference between expecting versus demanding money? Depends what type of money you're talking about. I think everybody should expect and demand that all of their needs are always met. So whatever point you are in your life right now, whether you rent, whether you own, whether everybody has bills at whatever level of income they are. And so for the life that you're in right now, you have to look at it and you have to be like, my needs are always met. Because somehow I got to this point in my life and I expect to be supported by the universe in this life that I have right now. Now, if I want more, I'm prepared to do more, and I'm prepared to take inspired action, and I'm prepared to contribute. Always come from that point. I'm prepared to contribute to the well-being of others. This is, my main idea about having more money, right? You have more money, it's for you to contribute. That should be the main focus. And when you take this approach, you will be given, right? So that's not really demanding, okay? It's just, or even expecting. It's saying, I now have a different intention. But for the life that I'm in right now, my intention, all my needs are met. Because I was placed here, right? Today I was placed here. And I expect to have food on the table. I expect to have a roof over my head. I expect my bills to be paid, and I expect all these things from the universe, from whichever avenues the universe deems, like I shouldn't have to stress over it. And this is what it is you should demand. You should demand not to have this worry, because your focus wants to be on the more higher things in life and more refined spiritual things in life. And in order to do that, you have to have all your needs met. Right? If you're doing spiritual work to have your needs met, just to have your needs met, that's not spiritual work. Spiritual work is done, thank you, in the context of you actually want to evolve your consciousness, and you're not willing to go through this love and pain cycle to evolve consciousness, right? Because consciousness evolves through love and pain, and especially through pain. You're not willing to wait this karma of your life, wait it out. What you want to do is say, I'm going to evolve via knowledge, and I'm going to evolve it now, and I'm going to evolve via contribution, and this is how I want to evolve, right? Which implies right away that all of my needs are met. I'm not scripting about having food tomorrow. I shouldn't have to do that. Do you see the difference? I don't do spiritual work, demand that your needs are met. Okay, let's see. The biggest thing you help me understand is the more you have, the more you'll gain. Yeah. The phrase is actually easy to understand. Because you see, we put this anthropomorphical attributes to God, right? Like, oh, why should he give to the ones that have a lot? It's not how the universe operates, and God is not implicated in every little aspect of our lives, like we talked about before. If you think God is overseeing absolutely everything, then, and you consider yourself religious, then you haven't read even the first 4 pages of the Bible. It's clear God was very surprised by the actions of men when he came back 2 times, right? 2 times, I think, in Genesis. Anybody? First to the Garden of Eden and the snake, and second time when Cain killed Abel. I have a video about it. I made a video about it. And here's the interesting part to me in those verses. I'm really well schooled in the Bible. So the interesting part of me with those verses is, God is horrified at, the murder that happened between brothers. So one brother kills another brother. And, the Lord says, you'll go from here, and you'll go, your punishment will be, you won't be with your people. You're banished from this land. And so this guy said to him, it was Cain, right? So he says to God, he says, but if you banish me from this land, the people where I'm going to, they will know that I murdered my brother, and they will murder me. So you'll create more murderers with this decision to banish me. I'm not kidding. Okay, it's like in the first 4 pages. And God says, oh, okay, then let there be a sign on you, on your forehead, that, people know that they can't kill you. That they, like, God is not even anticipating this basic human behavior that other people were going to murder him. And this is, it's like the hair kind of stands on the back of my neck when I think about the implications of this, when I think about the implication of our design and how far we are from that design, right? And from what we believe. It's the way God is implicated in our lives. I think we were a surprising result of God's creation. We even surprised God. So that's fine and all, but the technology was left here for us to, which is probably the same as the Garden of Eden, to use this technology, this formless substance around us, to shape circumstances and events in our favor. This is very, very clear. That's why when you think of something and you intend something, you get all these things, and you get things to happen exactly your way if you learn how to ask. And, in that, sure, there's joy, but not always, because sometimes we think we want things that we think we want, and when we get them, we realize they don't bring us as much joy as we thought they would. Has that happened to anybody who's manifested? Like, sure, you're happy about it for a while, but it's not like the joy, the permanent joy that you expected. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. It's happened to me many times. I'm sure it happens to people, and every time you're like, I'm scripting, and when I get it, when I just get that house, everything will be perfect in my life. It's never like that. That's not, the joy doesn't come from manifesting, a car or a boyfriend or whatever it is we're manifesting. Okay, I want to not forget about like 2 more things here, okay? So we're gonna get into the sort of dating and understanding, a little bit of the practical elements of this. Because if you're doing things the way society tells you to do them, you might find yourself going in the same direction as the society is going. If you don't know where the society is going, just watch the world. It's all singledom. It's all broke people. It's all disease. It's all, so if you're going with the flow, you're going to get to where the flow is going. If you want to diverge from the flow, that's when you achieve some good results. Anyways, so I give this practical advice on how to handle these life situations, and the way to handle bad situations is not to get involved with them in the first place would be preferable. This queen says, I'm writing because something weird has happened. I wasn't sure if I should post it in the group or not. I have started, stopped, and restarted the work twice now. In the midst of it all, my life has shifted and I feel I'm in a vortex. My boyfriend of 3 years, whom I live with, has broken things off with me because he doesn't want to marry me. He says he's not ready, but I know the truth. I feel a sense of relief, yet I still have much sadness. I have nowhere to go and no money. My family's far away. I have no friends near where I stay. I just want to know that everything is going to work out for me. I've been homeless before and I'm scared to end up in the same situation. I know the universe is removing him from my life for a reason, but I'm worried that I won't find my ways. So a lot of people who start this work with me, when they have these relationships that are going nowhere, that comes to the surface very quickly. Okay, they comes to the surface like the relationship breaks. It breaks, sometimes they can't stand the guy anymore, sometimes the guy breaks up with them. But there's a common theme here, and this common theme is the person that you were when you got into this relationship and you stayed into this relationship is not the person that can manifest the things that you want. Okay, maybe I should say that again. So in order to manifest the intentions that you put in this work, and I told you this is like blessed energetically, in order to manifest that, the person who you are cannot stay the same. Now, as that person is being replaced, A, the person next to you is going to sense the vibe shift. B, your higher self, the higher spirit that's coming through, is going to create a circumstance where these events fall apart if they weren't to your benefit in terms of getting to whatever list you made of the things that you want. So I would say, do not worry, things will work themselves out. From a practical perspective, living with a man for 3 years with no commitment is not a good idea when you don't have your own job and your own money. And, you know, this goes without saying. Do not get yourself in situations where the roof over your head is dependent on whether a guy says you're out or not. You can't be in that situation and stay with him. That's not a relationship. You're really a prisoner. Do you understand? You're a prisoner of circumstances. And you can't, you know, if you decide to be with a guy for years and years with no commitment like that, then you better have, you know, saved all your money that you're making in case he changes his mind about you. You can only be dependent on somebody who's made a commitment to you, who, if he walks away from you, you're not going to be in the streets. Okay? Because law will get involved and you'll get whatever's owed to you. And you're not going to stay with a guy for 3 years under this kind of conditions that, you know, thinking if you upset him tomorrow, you're out. You can't. That's not a relationship. And then I have one more. She says, I met a man in Turkey. She's met him, with whom I started a beautiful relationship. However, between month 3 and 6, I managed to completely mess up my relationship, although everything seemed to be going in the right direction. It's been 6 months and I've tried to bring the relationship back to where it was initially. I have failed. We're still in contact, but since September, he said to me he doesn't want a relationship at this time in his life and is not going to be able to commit to me or give me the things I desire. Marriage, kids, us living and traveling the world together. Mind you, it's also a long distance relationship. He lives in Turkey. I live somewhere else in Europe, she says. And then she says, even with that, I still believe and have faith. He's the one for me, with whom I have an immense spiritual and physical connection with. Maybe this is a limiting belief. So guys, in this life, we will meet people with whom we have a connection with. And this doesn't mean your future will include them, okay? And this is a mistake we often make. We think because we have a connection and we feel a lot about somebody, that means we are meant to be. And that's not what it means at all. A spiritual and physical and emotional connection is always a lesson. It's always a lesson. Sometimes it's a lesson on what pleasure and love feels like. Sometimes it's a lesson on how are you doing with it and with the absence of it. But it's always a lesson. And does this mean like you are meant to marry them and stuff? Not necessarily. And people who have felt a physical and spiritual connection like that with more than one person in their lives will tell you. You know, you feel like it feels. I remember how it felt at 16, 17 when I had like that experience. I felt like I will never be able to feel this way about somebody ever again, you know? But lo and behold, I did. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like we think this is it. No, this is what you're meant to experience right now. Right, now let me talk about the part of when a man tells you he's not ready for a relationship, right? You've been dating him for 3, 6 months, 12 months, and he's saying, but I'm not ready to commit just yet. What he means by that is, of course, he's not ready to commit to you. And I know this is hard to hear, and it's hard to sort of process, but even in this group, we have queens who their SP married other people within the time that they're working to manifest back their SP. Okay, they've been with their SP 3 years. They've been now working on the SP for 2 years to bring them back. Meanwhile, in 8 months, he married somebody else. And make no mistake when I tell you, men are able to commit to the women they consider the right women. Okay? In a matter of 6 months, in a matter of well under 12 months. If there are any men on this live who have felt that way about a dream girl, whether you ended up with her or not, you can confirm what I'm saying. But when he's saying he's not ready for a relationship, okay, analyze his life. Yeah, okay, if His parents are dying of cancer right now. He's back and forth in the hospital. If, he's an astronaut who's about to go into space, if he's like, okay, those guys are not ready for relationships. But if his life is more or less set, when he says he's not ready for a relationship, in the case of this queen, he means he's not ready to leave the life that he has in the country that he is in to come and live with you. He doesn't want to start all over again. He doesn't want his life to be hard for you, right? He's not prepared to go to all the trouble that a relocation is required. And he's not prepared to import you in his country because he doesn't want to take care of you. That's what it means. He's not ready for a relationship. He's not willing to do the hard work that's required with somebody who's not convenient to him. And in fact, if you were there with him, it might be worse for you because he might be like, okay, well, she's already here, so I'm just going to ride this out. But he would still not be the guy who's making that effort to be with you. Do you know what I mean? So you're almost in a good position being outside his country and seeing that he's not willing to proceed with doing anything to advance the relationship with you. And again, do not mistake spiritual connection, physical connection with things that are meant to be. Sometimes things are supposed to happen, but it doesn't mean that they're meant to be. Things that are supposed to happen and teach us a lesson are not necessarily things that are meant to be in the true sense of what we understand by meant to be. Right? This queen asked, what is the video called, Communicating with the Codes? I think it's called Use 3-Digit Code to Manifest. You might have to scroll back. Maybe it was like 3 months since I've done that. Or it's also posted in our Facebook group if you're part of it. What makes a person meant to be as far as a life partner or love of your life? What makes a person meant to be? It's written in your script based on the evolution of consciousness that you require. So for example, I think that if you met someone and you married them and that marriage didn't work out, it was still meant to be, right? It was meant to be in terms of your life path. Now, you can avoid things that are meant to be. Okay, you can see them as things that are supposed to happen and you're learning a lesson and you can avoid them. Like I was saying, when I was giving the advice to the other person earlier, about what to do when your higher self wants something else. You can always say no. That's what free will is. If I stop doing the challenge 1 to 2 days because of travel, does it affect? Why would you stop doing the work? I don't like when people stop doing the work. It's like interrupting the flow of energy. It's like you can't stop this commitment that you've made to yourself because you travel. If you travel for work, you bring your laptop and you continue. If you travel for pleasure, then your pleasure should include spending 10 minutes on yourself and saying, the challenge is in my bio, and saying, I definitely want to have a beautiful day during this trip, and I want to, you can continue your affirmations and especially because the challenge is sending the energy to others each day. Yes or no? What if your higher self doesn't want something? Yes or no? So I already addressed this in the beginning of the live. I want to see, if you guys don't have any more questions, another thing I wanted to say is because I get people who are manifesting their SP who's saying, they left me, they ghosted me, they left me on red. You guys are looking for comfort in this guys that dump you. And the problem is that person who ghosted you, okay, who didn't even have the decency to say, I'm sorry, I no longer feel a connection, or this seemed like something I wanted in the beginning, but I changed my mind about that. I sort of realized we don't really have a future together, right? Any person who's worth 2 cents should be able to say to the other person that they dated, maybe they slept with, to say these words, right? Other than instead of ghosting, instead of going away and you never hear from them. So every normal human being who's dated you for a month or two should not disappear. They should not ever ghost you. They should have the human decency to say, I don't see this going anywhere. Okay? If they did ghost you, do not search for comfort in their existence, because they are below the basic human decency level. And so by you keeping your focus on them, or God forbid trying to manifest them and trying to bring them back in your life, what you're signaling into the universe is that is sort of the level that you expect the universe to deliver to you. Okay? Somebody says, if they come back, how do I know it's good or not? It's not good. If they ghosted you, you never take them back. Unless their excuse was they were in a car accident and they were in a coma for 6 months. Then that's different. You have to have the strength to put yourself first. The whole changing the trajectory of your destiny and getting what you want game is about your ability to prioritize your own needs, to prioritize, communicate your needs, and accept any outcome. So when you prioritize your own needs and you tell your needs to the other person, and the other person does not fulfill them, whether they are able to fulfill them or not, it doesn't matter. Okay? Because it doesn't really matter if they're not fulfilling them out of bad intention or because they can't. You know, maybe sometimes you meet someone who's not in a social position in their lives to address your needs, who cannot see you every day or even every week. But this doesn't mean your needs go away. So what happens then is you're accepting less than your basic needs. You're sending the incorrect signal in the universe. Like you're no longer the focus in your life. And so if you're willing to accept a situation in which your needs aren't met, what happens is the universe, because it's a mirror, right? The universe is like, so I don't need to meet this person's needs in any aspect because this is not something I gotta do. She's saying that. She's saying that by accepting her needs not being met. Do you understand the implication of you accepting this very, very not even human basic behavior out of all these people that you meet in your life? You gotta ask yourself why. Always come back to yourself. And this is not judgment, by the way, guys. This is meant for you to sit with yourself and ask, why was I accepting that when I was with this person? How could I be in the position that I am now, that I'm suffering over somebody who ghosted me? What signals did I ignore along the way when, I was dating this person that got me here to a suffering point? By the way, anybody can get ghosted, right? But you don't get ghosted after you invest your feelings, invest your body, invest your social life into the other person. And you get ghosted then, you've done something wrong. You've made an error in thinking somewhere. You've ignored a major red flag somewhere along the way. You've ignored your needs. Okay, are we on the same page about this? I think everybody knows this on some level. It's just that sometimes society tells us to accept something else. And sometimes what happens is we are operating out of that paradigm things of fear. Okay? The fear that if I don't accept this, I'm not going to find anything else. All its derivatives, okay? The fear that he's going to cheat on you, the fear that, he's not going to contribute to your other needs, whether they're financial or social or sexual or, all those fears, they're all going to be satisfied. And there will be evidence as to why that fear came true. I'm accepting spiritual warfare from my husband in the home because my son loves him. It's confusing. This is a very difficult situation. I can't advise people on what to do in their marriage. But I know what you mean. It's a bad situation to be in, because you're so torn between your responsibility to your child and your responsibility to yourself. And you're hoping that you're making the right choice for your son. In a way, you're hoping. Sometimes that sacrifice is not the right choice. Sometimes. I left the job for the same reason. I only stayed out of fear. I'd never have better or received more. Exactly. It works with people. It works with jobs. It works with any situations. It's exactly that. We accept less than our needs, less than what we know we are worth. And we have to sit back and be like, why? Why am I making this decision to stay and be miserable? Why? And sometimes you have good reason, like this queen, it's because of my son. Okay, it's because of your son. But a lot of women have no reason and they still stay with this guy. And 3 years later, the boyfriend is like, you gotta move out because I don't want you anymore, like in that story. Don't want you anymore, right? Why should we wait a month after the 60 days to start again? I suggested waiting a few days for the first information to sedimentize. I wouldn't restart, right? Because now you're going to have different goals and different things that you want out of it, because you're at a different point in your life. You've evolved. You're very welcome for my videos. Thank you for the compliments. Not necessary, but thank you for the compliments. I'm gonna leave you with the thought, you dating ladies, if you're dating queens, all my dating queens, when you say, okay, somebody is your boyfriend, I'm going to ask you to think and come up with reasons as to why that person is your boyfriend. I know this seems like an odd question, but once you contemplate why somebody is your boyfriend, if all you can come up with is because we're seeing each other and we're sleeping together, that's not a good reason for somebody to be your boyfriend. Okay, your boyfriend, or this works for men too, like your woman, okay, but women have this intrinsic value. So your boyfriend is somebody who adds value to your life. And if you can come up with ways in which he adds value to your life, other than, in the bedroom, other than hanging out with you because you can't find something better to do with yourself, then that is not a reason to keep this guy on payroll as your boyfriend. So ask yourself, what is it that this man has done for me to give him the title of my boyfriend? Just because we started to see each other and hang out and sleeping together is not a reason. So you got to come up with other reasons. You understand? Okay. Let's put our hands together. This is the end of the live. All my lives are like an hour. So the next time I'm on is Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be part of our Facebook group if you want to connect with our community. Do the 60-day challenge in my bio. If you want to change your energy, watch the slides again. If you've seen some pieces of it where it spoke with you, every time you see something that speaks with you, you need to follow that thread of information. They're all posted on my YouTube channel after. Let's put our hands together. I do the 369 tapping. This takes 30 seconds. If you don't want to do it with us, you can drop the live now. If you want to do it with us, one breath. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.